Hi everyone, it's Christine here from Christine's Stampin' Spot, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm really excited to share today's card with you. Today's card uses a brand new stamp set from Stampin' Up! That was just released in the new annual catalog called Wonderful Moments. This stamp set immediately caught my eye when I was thumbing through the catalog, and it just had to go in my first order. I love coloring on my cards, and these images really allow you to do that. They also celebrate different times in a person's life, and it's just so much fun to work with the stamp set. Also, the sentiments are beautiful, and I love the fonts and the sayings here as well. So it's a really great stamp set. What I'm going to do today is show you how I created this card using, again, an image from the Wonderful Moments stamp set, as well as my Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils and an aqua painter. There are so many different ways to color images with Stampin' Up! Products. Today I thought I'd show you the watercolor pencils. They are so easy to use. There really isn't much of a learning curve, and you can quickly create really beautiful artistic cards. So let's go ahead and get started. This stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, which makes it really easy to line things up to put various items in this girl's hands. So for example, you can put the balloons or the gift package or the flowers. And I've already gone ahead and stamped her out onto some Stampin' Up! Watercolor paper, as you can see here. You can also use shimmery white cardstock from Stampin' Up! For this technique as well. At the end of this video, I will show you a sample that I did using the shimmery white cardstock. I personally prefer the watercolor paper. I get better results myself personally with that, but you can use whichever of the two papers you prefer. And again, at the end of the video, I'll show you what it looks like for me on the shimmery white cardstock. Now, this is what the stamps look like, just to quickly show you. I'm going to bring over some white scratch paper so you can see. So you would just stamp her down and then place the balloons in her hand and then place the gift bag in her hand. Very easy, simple stamping to do. All right, now let's get to the really fun part, which is, for me, the coloring. This is the watercolor pencils. They come in this little box. You get 13 different colors. You get Real Red, Calypso Coral, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point, Rich Razzleberry, Melon Mambo, Early Espresso, Basic Gray, Basic Black, and Whisper White. Now we are going to be using 5 colors today, so we're going to be keeping it pretty simple. And I am going to show you the technique that I use to get the images colored up nice and pretty. I'm looking for the last one, which is Calypso Coral. Didn't pull that one out ahead of time, so let me find that super quick here. There it is. Okay, so now I have all of the pencils out that I'm going to need. The other item that you're going to need for this technique, really for any watercoloring technique, is an aqua painter. Now when you purchase aqua painters, you get 2. The 2 come in a pack, and they have different size tips. So this one is obviously much bigger, and this one I use if I'm doing like a big watercolor wash background or something like that on my cards. So that's what I use that one for. And then the smaller tip I use the most, as you can see, and I use this one for my coloring of my Stampin' Up! Images. Now you can see the tip is no longer white. It'll pick up, it'll just kind of stain when you're doing various watercoloring, but not to fear, none of that color is coming off. It's just stain, not gonna worry about that. Okay, now I have a piece of paper towel handy as well. To get things started, you want to give your aqua painter a little bit of a squeeze until a little bit of water comes out onto the paper towel, and then I blot it off a little bit. So now my aqua painter has water in the tip and is ready to go. Let me turn this paper towel over so it's not quite such a mess. I'll just turn it inside out here so it's a little bit less colorful and hopefully won't distract, and it'll be easier to see what I'm doing. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start coloring, and it is so easy, guys. Wait till you see this. So I'm going to take my basic black Stampin' Up! Colored pencil first, and I am just going to scribble some color down. I want kind of my lightest to be, my light is sort of coming this way, so this side of her skirt is going to be the lightest. So I'm going to concentrate my scribbles on the right side of her skirt. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm now going to take my aqua painter and in circular motion pull this color. I'm going to come up here and get the belt as well, and I'm going to pull this color. See how this aqua painter, this water, just takes those pencil lines right out of it and blends this together so you have some highlights and some lowlights. So I'm just kind of brushing off the color as I go so I can not have so much pigment on the brush, so I can have it lighter over here. Now the reason I did the skirt first is because it's the largest part, and I might want to come back in once it dries and add a little more black to the side of the skirt. So that can be drying while we're working on other parts of the image. Next I'm going to take the Melon Mambo and I'm going to color the middle balloon up here. And see what I did? All I did was scribble on just a little tiny bit of pink Melon Mambo colored pencil. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so you can see better what I'm doing, hopefully. Now I'm going to take the aqua painter again. Remember, every time you go between colors, just scribble the tip off on your paper towel till no more color comes off, and then you're done. And I'm going to, in a circular fashion, circular motion, pull this color out. So now you can see there I have darker color on the left of that balloon and it's lighter on the right. And that's exactly how I wanted it, because this balloon here is sort of covering this balloon a little bit, so it's going to cast a shadow. So that's why I did it that way. Next I'm going to take the Melon Mambo again and I'm going to scribble some color down on the little gift bag. Again, I literally just scribbled just a little tiny bit of color there, as you can see. And now I'm going to take my aqua painter and in a circular motion push this color up into the white space that is left behind. And that's what's going to give me some shading and depths of color. So I have darker and lighter. And that just makes the image pop a little bit. I am not an artist by any means of the word, but I do find that I really like the look that I get, and I feel like an artist when I'm doing this. Okay, I'm taking Melon Mambo again and just coming in and scribbling some color down on her shirt. And now we're going to, in a circular motion again with the aqua painter, get this color moving, get those pencil lines ironed out, and finish coloring in her top. I'll take the Melon Mambo again and scribble a little bit of color on the sleeves, like so. And then we'll pull that color out so the whole sleeve gets color to it. And there we go. Now I'm going to take the Pacific Point and I'm going to come up here and color this balloon. So I'm going to scribble some color down, as you can see. And while I'm at it, I'm going to scribble some color down on this balloon as well. And again, I'm not coloring the whole image, I'm just putting a little tiny bit down. Now I'm going to take my aqua painter and I just like to go in a circular motion, pull that color out. Once I get kind of a little bit of a dark color on my brush, I like to wipe it off on the paper towel. Then pull more color out this way, but it's going to be a little bit lighter, which is what's going to give us that highlight. I'm going to do the same thing on this blue balloon here. Again, I think I said this, but this is the Pacific Point colored pencil. There we go. I'm going to color that in like so, and then we're going to take the Pacific Point and just do a little scribbling of color down on the tissue paper inside the gift bag. And we will just, again, do the same thing and pull that color out. Hopefully you guys are getting how easy this is and how fun the finished product looks. Next I'm going to take the Early Espresso for her hair. You could use one of the reds for redheads, you could use black for black hair, you could use any of the yellow colors that you get in the kit of color pencils for blonde hair. I'm brunette, so I decided to do brunette on her, but you can really do any color that you like. Now I just scribbled some of that brown color down. I'm going to take my aqua painter and in a circular motion fill in the white spaces that remain with the color. And there you go. Easy. Now the Calypso Coral is what I chose to use for her skin tone. There's several different colors of skin tone, so pencils rather, so you could do any skin tone really that you could think of, you could make with the color pencils that are available. I just chose this color for today's card. So I'm going to scribble some on her arms. As you see, I already did that, and now I'm coming and I'm scribbling some of the Calypso Coral color on her legs. And we're just going to use our aqua painter again and pull that color out. Like so. Super, super easy to do this, I promise you. Now I'm going to take the Melon Mambo and I'm going to put some color down on her shoes. So she's got some really snazzy pink high heels. Okay, there we go. All right, So she is done. Now that skirt feels dry to me, so I want to add just a little bit more color to the skirt. And I wanted to show you, you can go back once it's dry. You can also grab your heat tool if you're in a hurry and you want to dry an area really quick. You can grab your heat tool and dry it super fast. I have, if you can see here, I have a line that I don't really like where the water just kind of left this line right here, if you can see what I'm talking about. And I also want to make it a little darker on this side here. So I'm going to scribble down a little bit more of my pencil over on this side. And I'm going to take my aqua painter again and just pull that color. And I'm erasing this line as well as while I'm doing this. So it's going to look a little bit less interrupted. There's going to be, what I'm trying to say is there's going to be more of a flow, I think, between the lighter and darker colors. Yeah, this is looking better. I like this. Okay, almost done. We are seriously almost done coloring this image. It is so easy to do. And there you have it. So there is our girl, all nice and colored up. Super cute, super easy. So we are done. We're going to set this aside to dry. Now, I promised I would show you what it looks like with the shimmery white cardstock. This is the results that I got with the shimmery white cardstock. Let me back the camera out just a little bit now, since we're going to start putting the card together. There we go, just a little bit. I didn't get as much of difference in highlights as I like. I like a little bit more intensity between the lights and the darks, and I just wasn't able to get that personally as well with the shimmery white cardstock. But you can see it does work. It absolutely works. The ink doesn't run. You can do it on this cardstock if you prefer. All right, let's go ahead and put the card together. Now, because the piece that I just colored for you on camera is still drying, I'm going to bring over a piece that I colored prior to coming on camera, and this is again watercolor paper. And so we're going to set that down. We have a thick Whisper White card base that's going to serve as the base of our card. We have some basic black cardstock, some design paper from the Garden Impressions 6x6 Designer Series paper stack, which is going to go here, and then we're going to have our image like so. And then we'll have our sentiment. So that's sort of the basics of the card design. Before I do that, I forgot to show you the set comes with this little image here, which kind of looks like confetti, or it could be bubbles if you're using the wedding image. It's just kind of a little, I thought it would just add a little bit of fun. So I grabbed my Melon Mambo ink and inked this up super quick and just stamped it around my girl here. No particular right or wrong way of where to put this. Some of it's stamped off, some of it's completely on, and I just did 4 little areas of it. Let me grab my stamp cleaner really quick and get this cleaned off. So super easy, but I just thought it added a little bit to the finished card. Okay, so this is the piece again that I colored on camera, so I'm going to let that finish drying, and let's go ahead and put our card together now. So I'm going to start first by putting the design paper, adhering that to the black, basic black cardstock. So let me just grab my snail adhesive and add that to the back of the Designer Series paper, and then we'll just stick that. Let me bring my grid paper back. It's kind of hard sometimes to see on the black work surface what I'm doing when I'm working with black cardstock. Okay, there we go. And we are just going to center this on top of that basic black. I think I need to back the camera out just a tiny little bit more. Okay, that's much better. All right. Now I want to take some thick Whisper White baker's twine and roll it around this panel a few times. So I'm just going to add some snail adhesive to the back, to either side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it down, stick the end here of the thick Whisper White baker's twine. I'm going to wrap it down once, stick it down, keep going, wrap it around a second time, stick it down there, stick it down on this end, and then I'm going to wrap it down around rather a third time. Stick it down, and now we're done, and I'm going to grab my paper snips and give this a trim. Make sure that that sticks. Okay, so we're done with our baker's twine. We can set that aside. And now we just need to take this whole panel. I'm going to put some adhesive, more adhesive down so it's nice and sticky. And we are going to stick this to our card base. which again is it's an A2 size thick whisper white card base. A2 simply means 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to center it on the front of our card base here, like so, and then just stick that down. Okay, that is done. Now we want to adhere our colored panel. Again, I did this one off camera, so our one that I just colored on camera can dry. It really doesn't take very long to dry, but I didn't want to risk it smearing or anything like that, so I just decided to color one off camera quickly. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to my basic black cardstock, flip it over, and then I'm going to use some dimensionals to really pop this panel up. So I'm going to grab some Stampin' dimensionals here and put them around the back of the image. And then we're just going to peel off the backing super quick. Like so. Okay, and now we are going to adhere this popped panel to the front of our card, like so. Isn't that cute? Now the last step in terms of the stamping is I have a scratch paper piece of cannot speak today. I'm so sorry. I have a scrap of melon mambo paper, or cardstock rather, and I'm going to use the little happy birthday sentiment that comes in the stamp set. It's really small, and I thought it would be perfect for the front of this card because I really wanted our girl to be the main focus. So I'm going to grab some Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to ink up our happy birthday sentiment here. And I'm just going to stamp it down onto the Melon Mambo cardstock. Like so. Okay, that's sweet. I really like the fonts in this particular stamp set. I think they're just elegant and very beautiful. Now I'm going to take this punch, and forgive me, I cannot remember the name of this right now, but I will have it in my blog, and I'll have a link to it on my blog as well if you're interested. But this is a punch that's available from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to center the happy birthday in the middle of the punch here. Let me just hope my head doesn't get in as I'm trying to center this. Okay, here we go. That looks pretty good. And you just punch it down, and out it pops. Really easy. Okay, we can set that aside and close up our punch. Now I'm going to take some mini dimensionals, Stampin' dimensionals. These are really great. I don't have to cut up my big dimensionals anymore, and this is just very convenient. And I'm going to take 2 of them and just stick them on kind of the right half of the back of our sentiment panel. And then I'm going to stick that. This is a little crooked. Let me fix that. Okay. And then I'm just going to stick that right down here. Like so. Okay. And that's our little sentiment panel. Cute. Super cute. Now the very last step is I just decided to add some basic jewels rhinestones. So I just scattered a couple of these just around the card. No really particular order. No right or wrong. Again, just wherever you would like to place them is perfectly right. I just thought that they added a little bit of extra bling, and I thought it was kind of fun. So let's add one more. And there we go, guys. That's it. That is how easy this card is to make. The coloring really packs a punch, but is so easy to do. I hope that you guys loved this card. I will have a link to my blog as well as my Stampin' Up shop in the description box of this video. And my blog will have every single item listed that I used to make this card, as well as measurements and everything like that. So take a look at that if you're interested. And thanks so much for stamping with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and we'll give some of this watercoloring a try. I'd love to see what you come up with. Have a wonderful night, guys, and I'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.